Everybody, welcome to the Rich State of Mind YouTube channel. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to be notified for any other videos that I have coming up. What I want to talk about today is how much money should you be putting aside per rental unit. This was a big topic because over the last year, right, pandemic, but this is nothing new this should be nothing new when it comes to investing in real estate, being a landlord, buying and holding real estate. You should be making sure that you are putting money aside every month just in case, right? Just in case tenants leave, just in case tenants trash your place, just in case of recession, which we just went through, a little over 10 years ago. So things are going to be can be good for a while, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. The longer that you're in this game, the more often you will run across situations, pandemics, recessions, whatever you want to call them, that will affect your cash flow and will cause you to dip into the money that you need to put aside. So the first thing that you need to do is you need not to lie to yourself. Don't lie on your numbers when it comes to either buying a deal or the deal you already have. You're already stuck with it, right? It's too late. Go through your cash flow. Look and see how much you need to be putting aside for repairs, vacancy, Capex, after your mortgage, after your property management fee, after your insurance. You need to go through that because you may be negative and not even knowing it. Because you're just so happy to be having rental properties, but you could be bleeding a slow death. So look into that first. Don't lie to yourself. Be very conservative with your numbers so that you know that you're getting the right deal. I know some people, they go for the 1% rule, where if you buy a home that's worth $100,000, you want the total rental income to be at least $1,000. So you can go by that. That's a guide. I wouldn't say let that be the exact rule that you go by, because there's all the factors that come into play based off your area. So first we'll talk about repairs. You need to be putting money aside for repairs. Now, for me, I usually put $100 a month aside for repairs. Anything from fixing a doorknob to, replacing a cabinet drawer. Now, this is something that happens pretty often, but it's $25 here, $50 there. If it's like a toilet, I'll even go and fix it myself before I pay somebody to do it. Because usually, right, if you have a toilet that's $100, somebody charge $150, I might as well buy a whole new toilet, to get it fixed. So just take that in consideration when it comes to repairs, but you still want to put that aside, especially if you're long distance landlording. That's money you need to be putting aside. A lot of property management companies that you may deal with, especially if you're long distance, because you'll have no choice but to have a property management team, is they will have a $300 cap, a $500 cap. Hey, if the repair is less than $300, we won't notify you. You can adjust that how you want, whatever your comfort zone is with that. You can say $100 or every repair I want to be notified on. So that's just something to keep in mind. Capex is another thing. Now that's for huge items like roofs, appliance, replacing appliances, replacing flooring or carpeting. These are things that obviously don't happen on a monthly basis, but you want to make sure that you save up money for that, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to eradicate your whole year's cash flow fixing a problem that you knew, if you did your proper research, that maybe 4 or 5 years from now, hey, I'm going to have to get a new roof. So there's something to keep in mind. The next thing to take in consideration is the vacancy rate. You want to make sure that you're putting money aside. Again, I put $100 aside for vacancy. And that varies based off of the vacancy rate in your area. If you have 10% vacancy rate, 20% vacancy rate, then I'll probably putting a bit more, I'll probably double that. But for me, in my area, I have a 1.9% vacancy rate, which is pretty low. Usually once I put offer out there on a vacant apartment, I'm usually getting about 150 applicants within 2 weeks. So based off your area, you can go to US Census Bureau, or you can just Google how to look at the vacancy rate in your area. And there are websites that actually provide you percentages on what your vacancy rate is. You want to go for below the average of what your state's vacancy rate is. So take that in consideration. That's not a joke. Don't be that rookie that doesn't prepare for vacancy rate, because it happens. you may have vacancy just because you have to do a turnover from your last tenant who may have trashed your place. So that's definitely something to take in consideration. Mortgage. So unless, like I said earlier, unless you pay for your rental property in full in cash, you may want to take your mortgage. Obviously, you have to take your mortgage in consideration. Goes back to the 1% rule that I talked about. I like the 1.5% rule. If you can find a great deal and it's 2%, that'd be great. So 2% rule would be if you buy a home for $100,000 and the rental income is 2,000, then that's a great deal. So I shoot for the 1.5 because right now it's really hard. It's really hard to find that 2%. You can if you do it off market. So 1.5 would be $1,500 rental income if I bought a home for 100,000. Another thing to take consideration, and now this is usually something that's going to be taken within your mortgage, but for those of you that have already paid it all the way off, take into consideration your property taxes. So property taxes is tax paid either by you or the legal entity that you may own, such as a corporation. So that's calculated into your mortgage. Just take that in consideration as well. You also have property insurance. So your property insurance provides protection coverage over your property. So you will be financially reimbursed for your property if any damage or theft is done to the structural contents in the property. So check that out. It's usually about $100 a month is what I've been paying for my rental properties. So just take that in consideration when it comes to your monthly costs with your properties. Some of you may have COA or HOA fees. I don't like them because they bite into your cash flow, but that's definitely something that you want to take in consideration. So COA, HOA. So COA is condo association fees and HOA is housing association fees. With those, usually your grass is getting taken care of. There may be even some structural damage that may be done to your house that the HOA, the COA will take care of. You'll probably have a pool, a park. There's some good amenities that come with it that whoever your tenant is, I'm pretty sure they would love to benefit from those things. So just maybe try to factor in, if you could boost up the rent a little bit and factor in the HOA and COA fee so it doesn't completely bite into your cash flow, then that'll be perfect. And then one last thing I want to take consideration, or want you to take into consideration, is your property management fee on a monthly basis. So currently I have a property management company that charges me a $99 flat rate fee for real estate investors or landlords, which it works out because if my total rent was $2,000 and what usually a lot of property managers charge you is 10%, then I'd be paying $200. So I like the fact that it's just $99 flat. So based off your style, right? If you're very particular and you're local and you're trying to save as much money as you can, and if you're doing this full time, I totally recommend, you probably should manage your own properties. There's a lot of property management software out there that allows you to kind of pretty much do it from remotely. So that's something to take consideration. Companies like Avail, you only pay $5 per unit. So if you only got 5 units, you're only paying $25 a month versus $99 per unit for somebody to manage it, each unit. The only thing I would say is reason why I like property management is because I don't like going to court and I don't like having to do showings. And not that I wouldn't, but I can't really because of the fact that I have a full-time job. Some people are able to figure it out. I know a lot now due to the pandemic, people are doing remote one-time passcode only showing. So, you scan me your driver's license and then I verify you, vet you, and then you get a one-time code with the lockbox to view the property. And then you make your notes in the portal on, what you liked about it, a review, obviously email or call if you want the place. So people are doing that. Take that in consideration when it comes to your cash flow as well. And so final thoughts really is to just keep in mind, if you've already purchased your property and you either have a negative cash flow or you're having positive cash flow, you want to look at what methods you can do to make things better. Because at the end of the day, there's probably money sitting in your property and you just don't know about it. which will help kind of break up your expenses and how much rental income you're getting. And it will maybe possibly allow you to put that money that you need to aside, that Capex, that vacancy rate, and that repair monthly money that you need to put aside so that you can have some breathing room. Even if you're zero net cash flow, that is fine as long as you are making sure that you're putting money aside every month so that you don't go under. And then down the line, you do need to figure out how you can make this positive cash flow. And if you cannot, then looking to see if this property can appreciate and then sell it so you could look into a deal that will work out for you and provide cash flow. So that's what I have on this topic. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell if you want to be notified on any other videos that we have coming out. Thank you.